I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co.
And I am Ricky. Today we are reviewing my new favorite board game, Fairy Ring.
Did you just say your new favorite board game?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Hello, welcome to the review, and welcome to Ricky's thoughts on her new favorite board game, Fairy Ring. Interesting. We're going to tell you how the game plays, then we're going to get to that because I did not understand that was happening. This is Fairy Ring. Fairy Ring is a drafting game for 2 to 4 players in which players are going to be drafting various mushrooms into the garden over here in order to score as many points as possible. That's the core idea of what's going on here. But the basic idea is you're going to have your hand of cards. I'm going to be going ahead and playing over here as white. We're going to have Ricky playing as blue. We have another Phantom player playing as yellow. You can absolutely play this as 2-player. I think you'll have a better sense of how the game works if we set it up for 3, which is why I did that. So, anyways, you pick a card already?
Oh, yeah, I didn't place it.
We're going to pick some cards over here. We're going to play. Ricky is going first. I'm not going to overthink this.
Really
I lied.
good.
Of course I'm going to overthink this.
Even though we're not actually playing.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and place a card down over here. Now you're going to place a card down in your spot. Ricky already placed for the Phantom player a random card. And Ricky's going first. So go ahead and reveal your card. So, Ricky revealed a lookout card. She's putting it on her lookout. Okay, great. And her fairy starts on her starting card because you all start with a 0 card, which a 0 card is on the back over here. We all place them in field. Ricky, now go ahead and move your fairy 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3. So when fairies move, they're going to go around the fairy ring. You're creating a ring of mushrooms that will get larger and larger as you place mushrooms down. You see, Ricky placed her mushroom on her mushroom to extend her mushroom. But you can just as easily place your mushroom to your left or to your right to go ahead and have more mushrooms. In this place, since she's amassing mushroom, there's a good reason to place it on top. And because she has 2 of them, this particular mushroom scores based off of 3, 8, 15, or 24 for having 1, 2, 3, or 4. So Ricky's going to get 8 points. She's going to go ahead and take those 8 points, and these will be cashed in once she gets 20. There you go.
So only one of them scores for being too tall?
Only one of them scores for being too tall. We're going to go ahead and we're going to have the next player reveal their card. You want to go ahead and play their card?
Okay.
And they place.
This is a spring. We're going to place that there.
Beautiful. So they place the spring over here, and then they're going to go ahead and move. So how many do you want them to move? Do not say 3. That would obviously not be what
4.
they do. They're going to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 over here. They're going to go 4, and they're going to move equal to their movement. This particular mushroom scores equal to how much you moved. If you had multiple, you would multiply them by how much you moved. So if you had 3 of them, then you go ahead and do 3 times 4 for 12 points. In this case, just gets 4 points, taking these 4 points and putting them off to the side. I'll reveal my mushroom.
The spring, they passed over the spring.
They passed over the spring. Oh, that's
right.
right.
Every time you pass over a spring, it doesn't even get any points if you land on it. If any fairy passes over your spring, you can get an extra point. 2
and that
points
includes
if
yourself.
However many points it shows there.
Ricky's correct. That's going to be 3 mushrooms of the 6 mushrooms we've now covered. The lookout, which will score for how many you have. The whatever this is, which scores based off of the movement. The spring, which scores based off passing over. And now I'm playing the pollinarium, which is going to score for how many mushrooms you have. So I would only get 1 point.
But that's who knows what's going to be scoring.
I'm going to be playing this one, I believe, over here. I'm playing 1, 2. I don't like this. 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to score the way I want to. Oh no, I could. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to get a point to them over there. And then I'm going to score over here. And I'm going to score only 3, unfortunately, because I only have a level 1 one. That's basically what you're doing on your turn. Your turn involves playing a mushroom. And then when you're done, you're going to draft the cards to the next player. Go ahead and draft those around. We'll draft them around.
And Phantom players first. So Phantom players going to get the next card.
And this time around, we're going to play one more round and then talk to you about all the other things you don't know yet. So I'm going to go ahead and analyze the board, keeping in mind that only the person who goes first has complete control because everyone else is kind of trying to rearrange based on the various other mushrooms that will show up. Based on my mushroom being there, I think that I can go ahead and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think I'm going to go ahead and play this mushroom over here. All right, so I'm going to play this mushroom over here, and we'll see how it plays out. So, Phantom player goes first over there. Go ahead and reveal their card.
Phantom player is playing...
Ooh, you get to see another mushroom type.
A luminarium.
This one will score based off how many fireflies you have. So they have 2 fireflies, but they don't actually score it yet because they're first going to move 3 and go 1, 2, 3. Now they landed on my mushroom, which is a good time to show you how this works because you haven't seen that happen yet. But when you land on someone else's mushroom, they score the points, so I'll get 2 points for that because I got that mushroom there. I'll trade these in for a 5 over here. I should note there are more ones. I just put a bunch of points into the pile, but there are more cards. But
let's say this was Phantom Mushroom's turn.
Okay, exactly. That's a great option. So how do you play this?
Phantom would also score their Pollinarium, and they would get 3 points.
Basically, whenever you score someone else's mushroom, if you have the matching mushroom, you will score it as well. If you have multiple of them, you choose the best one that you want to score. It gets to my turn. I go ahead and reveal this, and I want to show you that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and place this down here, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, which means Ricky's going to score 8 points. But then I'm going to score 3 because I'll pick one of these lookouts and score for that one lookout, getting 3 additional points, and Ricky gets 8. And then Ricky, time to play your card.
Okay. I'm not going to bother taking the points. I'm placing my Academy.
Okay. I know you do the same. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, you missed it.
I did not.
You mathed it out wrong.
I mismathed.
You gave points to them. How dare they? They're going to win.
It's fine.
They're going to win.
They're fantastic.
They're going to get a point for the spring as well as for that card. Now, let's go ahead and cover the one last type of mushroom because I think there's one more type.
If I had counted that right, I would have gotten 4 points.
Where's the last mushroom? Did we cover them all already?
We did not.
Oh, Magidrome.
We did not cover Magidromes.
The Magidrome is basically going to be a stack that has a number on the bottom, and that number can range. It can go up pretty high.
It's the same as the movement.
But you're basically going to go ahead and get more of those. The higher this gets over here, the more points it's worth. So it's going to just stack equal to the total value of those numbers. So similar to the lookout, it's just an escalating set of points, but rather than being a fixed escalation, it's just based on the numbers you have.
Yep.
That is basically how you play this game, but there are a few more things to note. In round 1, you're going to go ahead and draft 7 cards, keeping 6, which means by the end of round 1, you'll have 7 cards. Your starting card plus 6 more. In round 2, you're going to swap it out for a new deck of cards over here, which are going to have higher movement values because all your fields have grown over here.
Like 7s.
5s, 6s, and 7s, and all that.
And when you get a 7 Magidrome, it's very powerful. Oh, yes. I was very sad I had to give one up because I wasn't going to score
7 Magidrome over here. And that's going to give you even more points over there, so you want to be mindful of those. So you're going to go ahead and get a separate round of cards, and you're going to go ahead and continue to draft 6 of those cards. So giving you a total of 13 cards by the end of the game. You also have fireflies, which we talked about basically because of the Luminarium over here, but fireflies will sometimes be covered and sometimes not, depending on whether they show up on the bottom half or the top half of a card, because if you cover that spring over there, that spring would cover that firefly. Sometimes you'll replace it with another one, but in this case it completely covered it up, removing the firefly from play.
Luminariums can only ever have one firefly, because we've never found a Luminarium out of the entire deck that has a firefly on the bottom.
Then whenever you have 20 points, you're going to go ahead and grab your secret dial over here, and you're going to rotate it up by 1, and then rotate it up by 1, cashing in your remaining points, putting them basically out of play, so you're constantly moving this dial up, trying to get as many points as possible, and that's where we introduce goals. Goals are an optional module that if you played games...
Wait, that's optional?
It's optional. You wouldn't know because I just always played it with you.
I know.
This is an optional module which you could go ahead and play without them. I think that just depends on the level of the players of the game. But basically goals, you put up 3 of these in play and they are double-sided, so you have a bunch of different goals. This one is having 6 mushrooms over here. This one's having 3 mushrooms that are at least 3 tall. This one's having 10 fireflies over here. So you just gather a bunch of goals, place them in play, and then whenever you get a goal, you place one of your flowers on it and immediately move your dial up. It's basically worth 20 points for achieving a goal. There is no first come, first serve. Goals are friendly in this game, and you have 8 because of the double-sided aspect of these goals.
Yeah, and I really should stop being surprised when you add optional things into the game, and I assume they're part of the gameplay.
Yeah, I just do that. I do that. Would you rather have played without those?
No.
Are there times where I do make the wrong decision, though?
Yes.
Is this today one of those times?
No.
Perfect.
Tranquility was.
That is true. Tranquility was. Anyways, that's basically Fairy Ring. Anything I missed, Trix?
I mean, you can only build one up to 4 tall.
That is a good point. That is something I missed. I thought the answer to that was going to be no. I thought I covered everything. You can only go 4 tall on a mushroom. You can only build up mushrooms on the same kind of mushroom, which should be obvious, but you can only go up 4 tall. Once you get to 4, you stop. You don't go higher than that. You have to build a new mushroom stop. And that is basically how you play Fairy Ring, which means I get to find out, along with you all, why this is Ricky's favorite game of all time, apparently.
I mean, 10 days is right there.
10 days is high. That's true. Until you play this game like 400 times, you can't say it's better than 10 days.
Yeah.
It's close to 10 days.
It's very close to 10 days.
Anyways, Ricky, why is this fair? Why do you like this game so much?
I love, the connivingness.
There is connivingness.
Because, it's the strategy of trying to make your fairy land in a way that gives you a bunch of points, but also sometimes denies someone else a bunch of points. Depends on your best move. And I like the way where it's, kind of uncertain, and it's really fun to, try to plan of how to get a bunch of points, even not knowing what's going to happen.
That is a big part of the game. You see, in the game, unless you go first, you don't have complete agency over the board. So I need to plan for the fact that Ricky might place on a mushroom, to the left of the mushroom, to the right of the mushroom, and whatever I play needs to account for that.
I get to use my skill of reading what people are going to do. Except for that one time when I forgot you could place on top of mushrooms or remember.
Well, also think about the fact that very frequently you are passing people a hand of cards, and so you might know what's good for them and be able to make reasonable predictions about what they are likely to play, which is an extra level of thought around the game.
I don't usually do that. And one time I was so annoyed because I was passing you a level 7, I was passing you this, and then you didn't take it.
It wasn't right for my engine.
Ticket.
It wasn't right for my engine.
I know.
You will have the springs over here, which give you flexibility. You can choose 5, 6, or 7, or 3, 4, 5 in the first era ones. Those will give you flexibility, but they often are not as strong in the point scoring. They can give you repeated chunks of small points, so they can be good, but they won't give you those giant swings of, look at that, I just got 24 points because someone landed on my mushroom. The game basically is... the game's incredibly accessible in terms of how easy it is to teach and play, and it gives you a lot of strategy, but also just enough chaos and luck that it's the kind of game that when you win, you're like, I did a good job. And when you lose, you're like, you played that one card, and they kept on landing on her mushroom. So it really does work well at a variety of gamer levels, age levels, and all that. It can be satisfying and enjoyable to play as a 8-year-old. It can be satisfying and enjoyable to play as a complete adult. This has worked well for anyone from my game group to my kids. It's just an easy, accessible game.
I haven't played it yet. Yes, and I really like the fact when, the amount of points you can get sometimes. Like, let's say you had a max level academy.
Yes.
And then you move 7 and land on it.
Fun fact for you.
Dream of it. 28 points.
Dream of it.
28 points.
The last game we had, I had that move. I had a max level academy, which is 4 academies.
And
I played a 7. You knocked my move over. Now, I did get a compensation bonus because I lost my 28 points.
You got 24 points?
I got 24 points. I got pushed over 1, and so it worked out that I still got chunks of points.
That's not quite as satisfying. Because lookouts, if you have a lot of them, you're automatically getting 24 points. This one, you have to, it's skill.
That's exactly
This one's way more satisfying.
That's exactly it.
It's 4 more points, but it's 10 million points.
I like the goals. For me, I'd almost always recommend including those. I think that, again, there is going to be a level of gamer where it's one more thing to think about, and then just leave them out. But other than that, I just think the goals are just easy to incorporate. I just wish there were more of them because there's only 8.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game is simple enough that the goals aren't going to be too hard, but complex enough that's always going to be fun no matter who you're playing with.
Exactly, and there's no first come first serve aspect, so there's really while there can be times where you mess up somebody's move by placing a card in a way that blocks them, with the goals, there's no first come first serve. Take your time, get the goals, peaceful.
I really like the way that it's get the goals. It's not you only get the points if you're the first person to do it. It's if you do it, you get the points.
Yeah. Now, as far as what I can see others not liking in this game, I will say that as much as Ricky and I do clearly enjoy the parts where we can play a card and mess up somebody else and plan around our own moves and all that, there are times in this game where you're going to sit there and be like, oh, I played a 5 and I thought I was going to get 15 points, but turns out a bunch of people played cards and I'm actually landing on your card and you're getting 15 points. You can have 30-point swings over a single played card in this game, so while there's absolutely lots of strategic play in this game, it's also a game where you can go ahead and just have things completely shifted based on how people played cards in a way that you couldn't have predicted around.
Yep.
Anything else you don't like?
I know I've said this already, but I don't like the art of the fairies.
Really? I don't remember you saying that to me.
I really don't like the way the fairies look. They look really weird and the wings aren't attached to the body.
That is not incorrect.
They look like noodles.
They're noodles. The noodle fairies.
No, I do. There's 2 things I forgot to mention. Mm-hmm. One, it's the nice thing about playing this at max players on a large table is that when people don't align their cards correctly, you can't see it. And also, I really like that the name of the game, Fairy Ring, is based off of something that is real. A fairy ring is a real thing. It's a circle of mushrooms that grows naturally. I actually found out about this because there's a little piece of paper in the game that says so.
Very educational. Yeah. I will say at lower player counts as well, whenever you play this game, depending on the player count, you're going to remove certain cards. So you're going to remove either 2s, 3s, or 4s. They're all printed on the card in the corner over here. And you'll remove specific cards, which does mean that the game structures it to be balanced around the player counts. That's on the good side. On the downside is it means there's a little bit of prep work or cleanup work when you're depending on the player count. But it is a game that works well at 2 as well. I think it is better at 3 and 4, but it does work well at 2. It's just a very different game. The nice part about 2 is 2's a real denial game, which it can be if you honestly
2 is denial, and it's a lot easier. I would say it's a lot easier. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
But I would assume it's a lot easier to get the points you want.
It is easier to get the points you want, and it's easier to mess up your opponent. It very much becomes a head-to-head game where, oh, look, I denied you 6 points and myself 4 points, but that's better for me, because if I gave us both 6 points, we both gain. I want to really hurt you. So it changes the way the game plays. I think it's better in 3 and 4, but if you want a little tighter experience, 2 can certainly give you that. As far as rating on this one, Ricky, how are you feeling about it?
4.5.
4.5?
Yeah.
Do you have any 5s?
I mean...
10 Days in the USA.
Yeah.
Oh, so we came short. It's almost a perfect
But I
game.
don't like giving 5s because, like, no, most games aren't that perfect.
That's fair. For me, my rating scale, a 5 to me. You want to hear my rating scale?
What?
So if you look at the comments down below, because I don't believe in perfect games. No game is perfect, so if you go by perfect, no game will get a 5.
There's one thing you don't like.
Correct. So for me, a 5 just means I will always play this game. I'm always down to play it. It's not like I have to be in the mood, not that. If you suggest it, I always want to play it.
Yep.
That's a 5 for me.
Yep, and I would say that there will be a few rare occasions where I will not want to play Fairy Ring because I'm, like, my brain is no.
Cool. So 4.5. I'm going to give this one a 4. I like the game a lot. I think it is very accessible, very easy to play. I do hope they come out with expansions. I think it'd be easy to incorporate different types of mushrooms and mix and match in different ways. You can have a third round and then just insert more mushrooms to the game. I would love that. The point score might be a little crazy, so that's an issue. I don't know if there will be an expansion. I do hope there is one.
Some of our favorite games have crazy scorings.
Yeah, it could be fun.
Like Core Shuffle.
Yeah.
The multi-hundred scoring game.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
You can get like 300 points in that game. It is so ridiculous to count the points. But yeah, I would think I would like an expansion, like a trees edition or something, where we're like the mushrooms, like you can have like sometimes you can have like tree cards that you can stick your mushrooms on top of. Oh. And your mushrooms are growing on trees, and trees give you more points, and they'll have like certain mushrooms where it's like a staircase mushroom that it gives you X amount of points for every one there is on your tree.
Are staircase mushrooms a real thing?
You know those weird like flat mushrooms that grow on trees?
The brown ones that are little like
but
steps?
Pretty.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's why I'm playing the
I don't know what they're called. That makes sense. Anyways, that has basically been your review of Fairy Rings. Until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co.
And I'm Ricky.
And have a good one.